This summer, Chris Cashman is parking cop. Oh, hey everybody, Chris Cashman here, taking over SIFF Cinema downtown, evening on the big screen. What a dream. We're not nominated for any Oscars, but we'll talk about all the movies that are tonight on Evening. Roll it.
One-on-one with the man that's saving bars and people's livelihoods.
It's about a lot more than a bar to me.
And meet the local artist that's sharing his personal story on canvas. Plus, where to find Chicago-style pizza in Seattle.
If you can get a cheese pull going, you know, you're Chicago.
And welcome to Evening from SIFF Cinema downtown. What a special spot in the heart of the Emerald City. So many reasons you should support your local cinema. The Oscars this weekend, what to watch, who's gonna win, not to worry. Shelby from SIFF to the rescue. You know, Shelby, they're seeing a movie and then they're seeing a movie here at SIFF. This is where we remind everybody how important it is, especially right now, to support your local theaters.
Yeah, we're fortunate to have SIFF here in Seattle with 3 different cinemas, 5 different screens, and we get to play independent films from around the world and show local films as well. We recently showed Suburban Fury, which was made by a local filmmaker.
If Ford was assassinated, Rockefeller would have ascended to the presidency.
The Oscars are just ahead. Seems to be a 2-horse race for Best Picture.
Yeah, it's really between Sinners and One Battle After Another. You really need to watch both of them.
People love talking about the snubs.
No Other Choice was totally snubbed by the Oscars, Park Chan-wook's newest film. And then there's It Was Just an Accident, which was nominated for Best International Picture, but it should have been nominated for Best Picture and Best Director for Jafar Panahi.
Thank you, Shelby. Jesse, timing is everything. Thank you. We're going to be celebrating this chocolate popcorn, but we're also going to celebrate a guy who's been rescuing bars and changing people's lives with a preview of his latest season of Bar Rescue.
Okay, so what's going on here?
He's trying to find the muddler, I think.
These owners are in trouble. They've dug some very, very deep holes. Imagine this, Jose. Imagine that you're 50 years old, you take all your parents' retirement money who are in their late 70s, and you put their house on the line to open a business. The business is failing. Now you lost your house, you're living in their basement. These are the kind of scenarios that I deal with all the time.
Almost like you're saving their life.
In very many, yes, I look at it that way. That's why I'm so aggressive, Jose, because I look at it that way. It's about a lot more than a bar to me. It's about fixing this family, fixing this dynamic, getting college money for these kids.
Look at this! Bar rescue failure! I will leave!
So what will make a bar succeed?
Connecting with customers and understanding if I'm gonna open a bar and it's in your neighborhood, Jose, you're my customer, man. I'm building it for you. The music is for you, not me. The drinks, the menu, everything is for
This
you,
is so you can
not
have
me.
fun.
So know who your customer is and don't be something to everyone. Be everything to someone.
40,000. How much you lose in a month?
5,000. Do you feel proud that even though it's a show, it's still helping small businesses?
I'm incredibly proud. You know, Bar Rescue is completely real. Never been there, never met these people. When I leave, those hugs mean the world to me, Jose. When I get those hugs, the things they whisper in my ear are just so rewarding to me. So the answer is yes. I love what I do. Helping these people is incredibly rewarding.
What do you think of why bars are part of society? A lot of people see that as their second home.
It's the coveted third place. You got home, you got work, and then you got that third place that you go to. That special place where you relax, where you disconnect, where you meet friends. It's part of the fiber of America. And by the way, the first distiller in America was George Washington. So this goes back to the founding of our country.
Thank you very much, John. Appreciate you.
Good to see you, Jose.
Wow, what a collaboration. The guy behind Bar Rescue meeting up with Jose, the guy behind 5-Star Dive Bar. I smell a spin-off series. Way to go, fellas. You know that saying, you can never really go home again? Well, tonight, one local artist is proving that maybe you can if you bring along enough color, memory, and love. Here's Saint.
If you walk into the Northwest African American Museum right now, you'll see bold colors, familiar faces, and moments that feel strangely personal, even if they're not technically yours. That's because this exhibit isn't just about art. It's an homage to Seattle's Central District, where artist Rodney King grew up.
I grew up on 29th and Dearborn, and it's just basically a tribute to like my childhood.
The paintings reach back to a time before the world felt so heavy, back to 1988. Tower records, VHS tapes, ice cream trucks, basketball in the street.
It's like the best years of my life, you know, being a kid. You know, we always want to be kids. Nobody want to grow up. We all Toys R Us kids at the end of the day. And so you want to go back to things that make you smile and that you're happy, you know, nostalgic moments.
Rodney began painting during the pandemic, spending hours in the garage of his Puyallup home, trying to cheer himself up with bright and bold colors.
I don't want to, you know, have my paints reflect a dreary feeling where it's dark when you leave the house and dark when you come back after work. I want to actually have some sun even when it's winter time. So pretty much what I try to do.
But look closer and you'll notice something else. Words, hidden references, history layered inside joy.
So anybody that looks at the painting, they will realize like, wow, there's so many different things in here.
Curtis Mayfield, Tupac, Aretha, Jerry Rice, Harlem Nights. Not just pop culture, but survival.
No matter what the struggle was during those times, the pop culture element of my life, you know, sustained me.
And now those memories hang inside a building that once scared him as a kid. Back then, this museum was an abandoned school.
This was Coleman Elementary, and it was like a, you know, like a ghost town type building.
Rodney says this exhibit isn't just about the past. It's about showing Black joy, Black excellence, right now.
Beautiful comes in different hues. My hue tend to be brown and black.
And maybe that's the quiet power of Rodney's art. It reminds us that memory isn't something you lose with time. It's something you carry, something you pass on, something you paint, so future generations know exactly where they came from.
Great stuff. The Rodney King display will be at the Northwest African American Museum through March, and if you go see it, and I encourage you to do so, don't be surprised if you leave remembering a piece of your own childhood.
Still to come on Evening, we visit a spot where you can experience classic retro games. And a locally made birdhouse that takes you inside the life of your feathered friends.
Wow!
Local stories make a difference.
That's good.
With the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
And welcome back to Evening Big Screen Edition. We are at SIFF Cinema downtown. Come see your favorite movies in this epic venue. And pro tip, make sure you check out the iconic chocolate popcorn. I'm going to dive into this. For quality control purposes, we'll send you to Des Moines, where if you are a fan of retro video games, this is the place to be.
It's like traveling back in time to a world of arcade games, where you can find everything from Pac-Man to air hockey to the owner's favorite, pinball machines.
Right now at Wonderland Arcade we have about 60 games, and almost 20 are pinball. Some of the titles are from the early 80s and some of them just came out.
Why do you think people like pinball so much?
It's so dynamic. The ball, you don't know what's gonna happen to it, so it's that excitement. There's this like timeless quality to them and how they worked within their limitations.
But if pinball is not your jam, don't worry, because there's plenty of things to play and do here.
This place is about the vibe. It's not just about games. It's the music, it's the art, it's the people. The other thing we do karaoke on Tuesday nights. We do DJ nights, which are live DJ performers. And from a bar standpoint, we only serve beer. We have about 25 to 30 different beers and ciders.
I don't know about you, but this seems like the coolest basement in the world.
Right. Someone told me once it's like a retro Cheers. Although Cheers is kind of retro too.
If you're looking to have this place for yourself, There's options.
You can book the whole place for a private party. That's the most common thing we do. We probably do 15, 20 parties a month.
And now we know. So make this arcade bar into your new future adventure.
So much fun. Waterland Arcade is open Monday through Saturday at noon and Sundays by special reservation. Time now to tell you about a peep show. Relax, this is for the bird lovers. Have you ever wanted to look inside that birdhouse in your yard? Well, now you can.
I'm Steve, and this is the Peep Show.
Don't worry, Seattleite Steve Gray's invention is actually wholesome.
And I've started making birdhouses. I quit my career in advertising. Thought I was heading for an early retirement. The birdhouse had other plans for me.
The Peep Show is a birdhouse that lets you move in with your backyard birds thanks to a home security camera inside. Hanging out in the nest is addictive.
And when I was testing these units, it just sounds ridiculous, but the first thing I would do in the morning is I would turn on my phone and check on my baby chicks.
Steve says this is the inspiration behind his invention. His 95-year-old dad, who lives in Fairbanks, Alaska.
In Alaska, birds and the arrival of birds in spring is a huge deal. And so we always had birdhouses, and one year, Dad wanted to see inside of a birdhouse. And I mean, he really wanted to see inside of a birdhouse. And you give an Alaskan a roll of duct tape and a glue gun and a weekend, and they can do anything.
The crude prototype his dad built is now this sleek, egg-shaped house, partially designed by an aerospace engineer, Steve's brother.
And so guess who I had do the ventilation system on the Peep Show? A true rocket scientist.
Steve took his birdhouse to the TV show Shark Tank, and the sharks rejected him, said it was for the birds. But bird lovers flocked to buy them. Now Steve's home is a mini factory.
This is what I call my incubator room here. I've got these running 24/7, and they're 3D printers.
Steve even has a Peep Show stationed in his neighborhood where anyone can scan the QR code and see inside.
Once you're living with these birds for 24/7 for, as they hatch, you can't help but become enamored with birds and be fascinated by them.
Ironically, Steve was not a bird watcher before building his birdhouse, just a chicken dad.
Oh my goodness.
Now, thanks to the Peep Show, all of his feathered friends are family.
You fall in love with these little baby birds, you watch them hatch, you watch them grow, and then one day they just leave the nest, and it's a sad day. I felt good knowing that I had given a very safe and secure home for these, 5, 6, or 7 little chicks, and now they're maybe flying around here today.
The Peep Show video birdhouse costs $399. You can find them online. Hard to believe, the Seattle RV Show actually got its start at the Seattle Center Coliseum back in 1963. Since then, it has become the Pacific Northwest's gateway to the great outdoors.
And now it's your chance to experience the largest RV event of the year in the Pacific Northwest at the 2026 Seattle RV Show, with over 400 new RVs across every category. Whether you're a full-timer, an experienced road tripper, or a first-time buyer, the event provides an unforgettable opportunity to explore hundreds of RVs at exclusive show-only deals. It's happening Thursday, March 12th through Sunday, March 15th at Lumen Field Event Center, starting at 10 a.m. each morning. General admission is $15. Seniors and military are $13 with ID, and children under 17 are free when accompanied by an adult. For complete show information, visit SeattleRVShow.com. Up next, how you can try a slice of deep dish Chicago-style pizza right here in Seattle.
Evening is sponsored by the Seattle RV Show.
And welcome back to Evening from SIFF Cinema downtown, or as my friend R2 would say, either works. Time now for a taste of the Midwest, a delicious deep dish slice right here in Seattle. It's Delfino's Chicago-style pizza.
It's the oldest restaurant here at University Village. It's been here more than 30 years. And owner Jay Cassio has roots in the Windy City.
So I was mesmerized with the city itself, but our destination was Wrigley Field. Anytime we'd go in, I remember, we'd stop and get Chicago-style pizza. It really has a warm place in my heart. It always has. When you look around the restaurant, we try to bring back the authenticity and the aura, the history of Chicago. There are a couple pictures. One is the picture that was hanging in my room as a kid of the current, Cubs team. And next to it is a scorecard. My grandpa would take me to the field. To have your grandpa with you special and watch him score in this card was pretty cool. And it's fun to have that hanging in the restaurant. Authentic Chicago-style pizza is the one with all the red sauce on top. It's supported by a very thin layer of dough and all the ingredients, the cheese and the toppings, but they're not really toppings if they're inside the pizza, right? They're ingredients. They're all inside the pizza. So that's really your authentic pizza there. Our cheese comes from the dairies in Wisconsin. It's whole milk mozzarella, and if you don't have really good cheese for a Chicago-style pizza, you don't have Chicago-style pizza. And the goal is to have an incredible cheese pull. If you can get a cheese pull going, you're Chicago. The story about that oven, it goes back to 1947. It was built for the specific purpose of crafting deep dish pizzas in Chicago. And this restaurant basically was crafted around the oven.
Here's something wild for you. Jay Cassio was actually the executive producer of this show, Evening Magazine, back in the 1990s. Yeah, that's a long time ago in a galaxy not far. Well, it's in the shadow of a space needle or two, but Delfino's Chicago-style pizza, open every day of the week. Go grab a slice and tell them Evening sent you.
When Evening returns, we share our opinions and predictions on this year's Oscar nominations. Plus, we reveal our Savor the Journey with Evening sweepstakes winner that will be joining us on a 7-day Alaska cruise with Holland America.
Now in our 40th season, Evening shares local stories that make our community shine. Evening is sponsored by Pemco Insurance. Pemco empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at pemco.com.
And welcome back to Evening from SIFF Cinema downtown. We do love going to the movies, and if ever there was a time to support your local movie theater chains, this would be it. They've got multiple locations. Support SIFF. Visit the one nearest you. In fact, with the 98th Academy Awards set for Sunday, March 15th, we thought we'd ask our King 5 Evening colleagues what their hot takes are on this year's nominees.
The only sure thing is that Jessie Buckley is going to continue her awards season winning streak by winning the Best Actress Oscar for Hamnet. One battle after another seemed to be a lock for Best Picture. A month ago, that would have been my bet, and Vegas odds makers are still saying that's going to win. But there is something called momentum, and momentum certainly shifted during the SAG Awards just days before the Oscar ballots were due.
What the hell going on?
Suddenly, Sinners has all the momentum, so don't be surprised if they run the table. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Cinematographer, that new Oscar for Best Casting, also Michael B. Jordan for Best Actor, and Delroy Lindo for Best Supporting Actor.
I am not a big movie guy, but Begonia was one of the weirdest movies I've seen in a very long time, and on that alone, I think it should win some kind of award.
Where's my hair?
So Sean Penn just won the SAG Award for supporting role for One Battle After Another.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
He'd be also going up against Benicio del Toro. Actress in a supporting role, Amy Madigan won the SAG Award for Weapons, which blew my mind, because if you've seen her in that movie, she's really creepy. If I had to pick one, Teyana Taylor would probably be my pick for One Battle After Another.
I don't know who's gonna win. I have not seen none of the movies that they did, but I heard that all of them are good. So I'll just do paper, scissors, Timothy. That's my prediction.
Some interesting options there. I guess we will leave it up to the Academy, and either way, I will be watching Oscar night with some of this SIFF chocolate popcorn. But let's get cruising. This April, Evening is taking a trip to Alaska on a Holland America cruise. Since January, we've been running the Savor the Journey with Evening sweepstakes, where we get to take a lucky winner with us on the voyage. And it is time to announce the sweepstakes winner. Brenda Jensen and her husband James Olin Jensen are joining our 7-day Alaska cruise with Holland America. She's recently retired after 30 years of nursing. She's never been on a cruise. She's most excited about seeing a glacier and the wildlife. Bears, hopefully, she says. Well, Brenda, you are in luck because Holland America has been sailing to Alaska for over 75 years and they are #1 in wilderness and wildlife. And they have guaranteed glaciers on every Alaska sailing. So much fun. This will be their first big trip post-retirement, and what an adventure it will be. I cannot wait to set sail with you. All right, that'll do it for us here at SIFF Cinema Downtown. Make sure you support your local cinema. I would come just for the chocolate popcorn. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Now, if you'll excuse me, you're blocking the movie. Can you start it over?